Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Inside the Americas. Coming up, Brazil's former president Lula is back on the political scene after a judge annulled 2 corruption convictions against him. Then Oprah Winfrey cements her status as the queen of television. Her explosive royal interview, just the latest in a long line of scoops. And Buttergate, yep, it's a thing. Coming up, the mystery of rock-hard butter in Canada. I'm Jeannie Godula. We'll start first with a shocking allegation against the president of Honduras. Juan Hernandez has been accused of helping smuggle tons of cocaine into the United States. Selena Sykes explains.
A shocking allegation that is reverberating across Honduras. President Juan Hernandez has been accused of helping smuggle tons of cocaine into the United States, prompting much reaction from residents on the streets of the Honduran capital.
Lo que debería hacer es asumir su responsabilidad, creo yo, como cualquier otra persona.
Aquí todo es mentira, allá no mienten, ellos sí mienten. Y solo le toca irse para allá, que es el hermano de él. Solo que le toca a Juan Orlando irse para allá.
The finger was pointed at Hernandez during the opening statement by a U.S. prosecutor at the trial of a suspected Honduran drug trafficker. An accountant is said to have been present at meetings between the president and the defendant over 2013 and 2014, the year Hernandez took office. The witness said the pair plotted to send as much cocaine as possible to the United States, and that Hernandez said he wanted to shove the drugs right up the nose of the gringos. The prosecutor said the president was bribed with $25,000. Ahead of the trial, Hernandez denied any wrongdoing in a series of tweets on Monday, saying his election had ended the party for drug traffickers.
Most of the headlines are based on false testimonies from drug traffickers who are lying to get revenge, reduce their sentences, and receive other benefits.
The president has been dogged for years by accusations of possible connections to smugglers, including his own brother, who was convicted on cocaine trafficking charges in 2019.
In Brazil this week, a Supreme Court judge has annulled 2 of the corruption convictions hanging over former President Lula da Silva, a decision that's now put him back in the political arena, and some say on a new path for the presidency in next year's election. To talk a bit more about this with me now, I'm joined on the set by France 24's Olivia Salazar-Winspear. Hi, Olivia.
Hi, Jeannie.
So what does this mean exactly? Is Lula cleared completely? All his legal battles are behind him?
Well, he can certainly breathe a sigh of relief, that's for sure, but he has not been deemed innocent by any measure. Now, this all goes back to 2017, when Lula was found guilty by Judge Sergio Moro in the southern state of Paraná on charges of accepting a luxury beachside apartment as a bribe in exchange for construction contracts. Now, this was part of the larger Petrobras affair, which gave rise to the anti-corruption operation that was called Operation Car Wash. Sergio Moro presided over that as one of the judges. Now, following that verdict and Lula being in jail in 2018 with a 12-year sentence, Lula's lawyers appealed, and now Judge Fachin has ruled that the court in Paraná had no jurisdiction over that case at that time. So this latest ruling has to be approved by the full Supreme Court, which is likely to pass just fine. There's unlikely to be any problems there. But Fachin has also said that the cases against Lula should really be retried in the capital, in Brasilia, although these things happened quite a long time ago and there is a statute of limitation. So he seems to be okay for the moment.
Now, in response, the current president, a conservative, Jair Bolsonaro, has said that Judge Fachin is simply biased, that he is too close to Lula's Workers' Party. Talk us through the politics at play here.
Yeah, well, the state prosecutor has said they're going to appeal this decision, and Bolsonaro took this opportunity in the media to make a dig at the Supreme Court, saying it was biased. He does have a few enemies there at the moment. But this political bias seems to go both ways. For example, Sergio Moro, the judge who convicted Lula and put him in jail, has also been accused of acting less than impartially. In 2019, The Intercept newspaper got access to messages from the application Telegram that Moro exchanged with the public prosecution during those car wash hearings when they were investigating, and they published those messages. This suggests that he was in contact with the public prosecutors and if maybe even sympathetic to them. And this from a man who'd said that it was his mission to rid Brazil of corruption, who said he was very inspired by the anti-mafia trials in Italy in the 1990s. By the end of 2017, Sergio Moro had handed down 120 sentences and put more than 170 people behind bars in the car wash operation. Now, this man was subsequently named Minister of Justice in Bolsonaro's government, a move that some people in Brazil interpret as a thank you for putting Lula behind bars.
Now, many of Lula's backers, and he still has a lot of them, would like to see him run for president again next year. Does this leave him an open road to do that?
Well, technically, yes, his political rights have been restored. That means the right to run for office as well, unless these convictions that have just been annulled are reinstated, which is unlikely. Now, he hasn't announced what he's going to do either way, but as you say, he'll be under a lot of pressure. There's elation from the left at this latest decision. And if we cast our mind back to 2018, that last presidential election, Lula was even prepared to run for office from jail. He wrote an op-ed on the front of the New York Times in August of that year saying that he would run for president if he was allowed, if the courts allowed him. He had huge support in Brazil and outside as well, but that was blocked in the end. Now, looking at his chances now, his party, the PT, or the Workers' Party, has been under fire for mismanagement, for corruption, some of that related to the Petrobras affair, and the smear on the party from that whole scandal was a major contributing factor to President Dilma Rousseff's impeachment in 2016. She was his successor, of course. Now, despite all of these problems, a recent poll from IPEC that was published in the Estado de São Paulo newspaper said that 50% of Brazilians would definitely or probably vote for Lula, putting him in prime position, followed by Bolsonaro. 38% of people said they would give him a second term. And very interestingly, the man in third place there is Sergio Moro with 31% of support, the man who was a judge and then justice minister, who's no longer in the Bolsonaro administration. He fell out with the president last year. So he's not really on the scene anymore, and it does seem that despite a few new faces coming in from the left who haven't really made a dent in Brazil quite yet, Lula remains the largest threat to the current administration.
Olivia, thank you so much for breaking it all down for us. Olivia Salazar-Winspear, thanks. Next now to the U.S. city of Minneapolis, where at least 3 jurors out of the dozen needed have been selected in the trial of a white police officer accused of killing Black American George Floyd. The trial on second-degree murder and manslaughter charges is being seen as a landmark case on police brutality against Black people in the U.S. Jury selection was delayed for a day as prosecutors sought to reinstate a third-degree murder charge against former officer Derek Chauvin. The appeals court has yet to issue its ruling on that, but the judge is moving ahead with jury selection anyway. Most people have heard of the case or even seen the controversial video of Chauvin pressing his knee into Floyd's neck. So the process to find impartial jurors could be a long one. Next, one of the biggest news stories this week around the world was that bombshell interview of Harry and Meghan. They sat down with host Oprah Winfrey in a scoop that only confirmed her own superstar status. She's earned a fortune over the years, worth billions of dollars, and a regular spot on the list of the world's most powerful women. Andrew Hillier takes a closer look at Oprah.
So tell me this. You said a moment ago it hurts.
In her interview with the royal couple, Oprah Winfrey once again showed why she's television royalty herself. Her rise to fame began in the 1980s when she started hosting the Oprah Winfrey Show. The show was an instant hit, bringing in $115 million in sales in its first 2 years, according to Forbes magazine, and producing moments like this.
Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3. You get a car! You get a car!
For 25 years, she used the show to interview some of the world's biggest A-listers, becoming one of the best-known celebrity interviewers in the business. But she also used her platform to discuss broader issues such as politics and mental health, a key part of Sunday's interview with Harry and Meghan. Her influence is undeniable. Winfrey's endorsement of former President Barack Obama in 2008 is thought to have helped him win up to 1 million votes.
I feel compelled to stand up and to speak out for the man who I believe has a new vision for America.
Over the years, Winfrey has launched several charitable initiatives. She's also driven business ventures and set up her own production company. Nicknamed the Queen of Talk Shows, Winfrey's net worth has grown to over $2.6 billion, cementing her status as one of America's most prolific success stories. CBS reportedly paid Winfrey more than $7 million for exclusive rights to the Harry and Meghan interview, the pinnacle of success for a woman who came from very humble beginnings.
And finally, you know that frustration of trying to get your butter to spread straight out of the fridge? Well, in Canada, butter is still staying hard even when it's been out on the counter all night. That has scaled up to a full-on scandal called Buttergate.
It's headline news here in Canada. Butter too tough to spread, making for some angry consumers.
#Buttergate.
It all started when this food blogger noticed the difference, raised the alarm, and took a closer look.
So this is the grocery store butter, very, very firm. Cows from PEI. You can see the French butter is soft to the touch.
I got over 1,000 comments on Facebook and hundreds on Twitter, and everyone was like, I thought it was just me.
Investigations into the source of the problem are ongoing, but scientists say it's likely to be down to palm oil, already a controversial crop due to the deforestation it causes. Since the pandemic started, more Canadians are buying ingredients to cook at home. Farmers had to meet that demand using additives containing palm oil, which makes cows more productive, but it does change the consistency of the milk.
When you actually throw palm oil into the fold, it doesn't marry well with the blue cow image that the industry is trying to convey to the public.
Adding palm oil to feed is neither new nor illegal, be it in Canada or in Europe. Yet amid growing dissatisfaction, representatives from the dairy industry have called on farmers to put an end to the practice.
That wraps it up for this edition. Thanks so much for watching Inside the Americas. We'll see you again next time for all the news from north to south.